Okay, what's going on, LBHT crew B? What is going on?
I mean, nothing. The Panthers are done playing, so ain't nothing really to talk about, right?
Oh, my bad. I forgot. I was going to do my B impersonation today. Hold on a second.
Wow.
Oh, look at that.
I heard that's your Hendo impersonation. That's what I heard.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. Now my head feels nice and comfy. Yes. Do you guys like that? Do you like that? Yes, that is the new LBHT beanies that are available at LBHTshow.com/shop. Go ahead and get you one of those. Yes, indeed. Yes, I actually like this.
I gotta order one myself.
Yes, I like this a lot. I don't wear hats or beanies or anything that much, except when it gets really cold. Like it had a couple of days over here. But yes, that is where you can find one. Go ahead and purchase one, and we'll tell you more about what we got in our store later on. But welcome. Look, it's the offseason for the Ravens and the Panthers. Okay, lot to discuss. All right. Shout out to everybody that's here already. All right, we are streaming live on YouTube, Instagram. No, not Instagram. YouTube, Facebook, which is basically the same thing. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. So wherever you're listening. If you're listening to the audio, hit the 5-star review. Everywhere else, hit that like or whatever you do, okay? And give us a follow. Shout out to Living Legend who's in the house. Thanks for coming through. Yes, Gabriela Perez says hi. Hi, Gabriela. Thanks for coming through. Danity's in the house. Says hello, everyone. Welcome to Danity? LBHT Show. Hey, what's up with you, Danity? I see the clock. Look. Listen, the show started at 7:15.
We don't promise what second, Danity. Damn. Goodness.
I think we found a new producer. She has to keep us on time here. She watches like a hawk. What's up, One Session? Says, what's up, everyone? Hashtag LBHT crew.
I'm watching the clock too on you too, Danity. You taking an awful long time vetting Patreon. All right.
Big Reg, what's going on? Mr. Jada 6 is in here. It says, I made it to 6:15. My day is saved thanks to LBHT. Yes, 6:15 Central Time. Yes, it's 7:15 over here. Appreciate you coming through, man. JP in the house says, fellas, great work covering the Ravens and Panthers this year. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. Jake. Thank you. Appreciate that. Raven Ron's in the house says, what up, LBHT? I want channel 3 deactivated. Wow. Okay. All right. Brandon Basil's in the house says, we all done playing. Yes. I feel y'all. Andre Miz, what's going on, my friend? Says, what's up, LBHT? Spooky J's in the house says, Jose has finally freed us from that ball glistening torture. You know what? It's coming back. Okay, because I'm actually warm in my basement. I don't need this on the whole time, but I'm glad you guys like it. I did wear it one time for a stream. I was a little cold. It was a little chilly in here. And shout out to Anonymous for a $20 donation. All right, let's get this started. It says, greetings, everyone. Have a most excellent show. Appreciate you, Anonymous. Thank you. That's how we get the show started over here. Yes, indeed. Our brother OTR Mike is in the house, B. Says, oh snap, look at my West Coast brothers, bang bang. Indeed. Our guy Andrew's in the house. What's up, Andrew? Thanks for coming through. Yo, Justin P is in the house. Says, fellas, what's up, Justin P? Hey, keep that same energy podcast. Like the name says right there. Go ahead and hit subscribe over there as well. All right.
And talking Ravens all day, every day.
Yes, and talking Ravens all day, every day. Subscribe to both. What's up, Sharon? Thanks for coming through.
What's going on, Sharon?
Yolanda's in the house. What's up, Yolanda?
What's going on, Yolanda?
What was that for? Wow. We don't treat Yolanda like that.
I'm disappointed. I haven't seen Yolanda be Raven anywhere recently. So I'm wondering what's going on.
Hey, more Yolanda's always great. But look, she's a busy woman, okay? All right, she said, I'll see you when I see you. All right, it's all good. Willie Seabond in the house says, what's up, fellas? Hopefully the locker room is finally getting a backbone against that whack coaching staff. Oh, I like that, Willie. I like the way you talk. Yes, indeed. King 95, what's up, bro? Thanks for coming through. Rahib Ali says Javante and Ryan fight is on. Who you got? I'll tell you who we got. Check it out on Ring Kings podcast. We're gonna talk about that
Yes,
on the
sir.
next episode. All right. Yes. But if you watch Ring Kings podcast, you already know who
We've talked about it on many episodes.
it's pretty obvious. What's up, Marco G? Says, what's good, guys? Stop by the liquor store to refill. That fumble nightmare is still keeping me up. Oh man, that hurt. For somebody that expected us to get blown out and for us to be that close, I thought that was going to be the backbreaker for us in our favor, right? I thought, man, we score here, it's over. We'll talk about it in a second. All right.
I bet y'all did.
I did, yeah. And then when it went the other way, I was like, yeah, it's over. MDT Sports, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Our guy, Hendo's in the house. He already laughing. He getting a good laugh over here.
What up, Hendo?
Joy Walker's in the house, says, hey, LBHT crew, here just in time. Happy to hear from everyone. Hey, shout out to you, Joy. Thank you. Thank you. Brian Colvin in the house. Okay, I'm seeing some new names in here. Okay, shout out to you, Brian. Thanks for coming through. Yes, and our regular Mr. Attitude Pop. Our guy Attitude Pop. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming through, my friend. T. Will Wilt says Lamar is actually getting traded. Crazy, they not paying him a full guarantee contract. Jets about to have a new QB. Well, we'll discuss. We'll discuss in a minute.
Fingers crossed.
Zaul says, Ola. What's up, Zaul? Says
What's up, Zaul?
We finally got to the end of the season. Time to actually talk about New York Knicks and the other teams of the association.
I'll tell you one team we won't be talking about, and that is the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yes. LeBron is having an amazing year. We're gonna talk a lot of LeBron.
I didn't say we wouldn't talk LeBron. I said we're not talking about the Lakers.
We're gonna talk a lot.
What an embarrassment!
They're failing.
They don't deserve it.
And Rob, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. I got Nitro's in the house from the Wonderkin Show. Man, go subscribe to Nitro, man. Listen. There's 65 people in here. Obviously, like and subscribe, right? Nitro's close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm not sure how many he has right now. Man, just take a second, go over there, hit subscribe real quick. You won't regret it. Hit subscribe, get our guy to 1,000. All right, because I don't like to see YouTube take any of our money. I don't care if it's a penny. All right. Look who's here. Poon Gent is back. Says, what's up, my guys? What's up, Poon Gent? Haven't seen you in a minute, man. How you been? Thanks for coming through. Yes. Jag says he's getting traded. He might. And Zeke Hokage is here. What's good?
What's up, Zeke?
Thanks for coming through, Zeke. All right, listen. We are going to get this started. We have a lot to discuss. You guys are already talking about it in the chat. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And B has a Black History fact for you.
Yeah. So last week we talked about James Armistead Lafayette, who was a spy during the American Revolution. And we kind of hinted or talked about the fact that after the war, they had promised slaves that they would get their freedom for fighting in the war, fighting for the Continental Army. And they told him, no, you didn't carry a gun, so you're not going to get it. Now, eventually he was freed. But that brought me to another group from the Revolutionary War, the 1st Rhode Island Regiment, which some people say was the first unit in the military, the first non-white unit in the military. It was made up. It wasn't all Black people, but it was. There were some Native Americans, but it was mostly freed Black men and slaves who were all, again, promised freedom after the war. They're unique because they're one of the few units that kind of operated throughout the entirety of the Revolutionary War. They, if you follow them, you kind of follow the story of the war as well. They were there at Valley Forge with George Washington. They only existed because, George, famously a massive racist, did not want Black people in the military. But, once the recruitment numbers started getting low, he said, all right, go ahead and let them other people in. They were at Valley Forge. They fought at the Battle of Rhode Island, where they repelled the Germans who were on the British side. The 3 charges from the Germans to kind of help win that battle and secure Rhode Island. It's generally said that they stood out amongst all of the Continental soldiers, in terms of their discipline and skill wherever they went. And, like I said, they operated all throughout the war. And once the war was over, once they were discharged, they got nothing. The white soldiers were promised 100 acres.
Shocker.
And they told the the first black regiment, hey, thanks, see you later. But again, this is another story where the generals that their commanders were so impressed with them and so close with them, because all of their commanders obviously were white, but they kind of fought for their soldiers after the war. And eventually Rhode Island passed a law saying that if these guys can't support themselves, if they're sick or injured or whatever it is, whatever the case may be, they would be supported by the town council of wherever they lived in Rhode Island. So it did come out to be sort of a happy ending. Like I said, a lot of the guys ended up in poverty though, because of the depression that hit the whole country after the war. But like I said, if you're into American history, if you're into the Revolutionary War, they're a very interesting group to read up on and follow. They took part in a lot of battles, and made their name during that time.
Yeah, facts, man. Another great Black History fact, and you do such a great job with Black History fact. B. Marco G is wondering if you have a minor in history.
I do not.
He does not.
No,
No. B does a lot of reading, okay, and writing. All right, so he's just very knowledgeable. Okay, I know a little bit too, not as much as B. Not in those things. Okay, but yes, he does an amazing job, which is why we keep it going. And next month is Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
The month that we started the show, which is what prompted the whole Black History fact segment to even get started. And we're like, man, we're doing too good. We got to keep it going.
And now, because we are contrarians like Jose's boy Kyrie, for February, we're going to stop.
Zico Kage loves the Black History fact. One Sessions is loving it. Hey, the people love it, man. Yes, MJ's in the house. Hey, he loves it too. Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Yes, living legend. Appreciate it. All right, look. You guys know how the season ended. If you're watching the Ravens Roundtable, like you should be, okay, over on Sip 2 Tally Films, that's where you can find us on Mondays. Mm-hmm. The show's still going on. The season may be over, but the show continues. All right, so make sure you tune in over there as well. But you got our initial thoughts about what happened in that Ravens Bengals game. Obviously, it was a heartbreaker. Listen, it's a heartbreaker for me because I thought not for you, but it was a heartbreaker
for some of us.
Yes. But I thought we were gonna get blown out, right? Mm-hmm. And I even told you, hey, we deserve what we get because we put ourselves in that situation. Shout out to Hendo. Appreciate you, Hendo, for a $25 donation. Says the best show out here and my favorite YouTubers spitting that fire. Thank you, Hendo. And he also spits fire on Ravens Online on Gatekeepers. Okay. Yes.
And Tuesdays on A Steel Conspiracy and Fridays on Electric Relaxation with Mr. Galloway.
That's right. But I said, look, they deserve what they get. They put themselves in that situation. But there they were with a chance to win, playing the type of football that was reminiscent of that old the early 2000s Ravens. Okay, you're just beating up a better team physically. You're wearing them down. You're getting them frustrated, and you're right there at the end to steal the win. And I was feeling it, man. But look, Tyler Huntley did what he did. Some of that. Shout out to Kane Pickett. I got you, Kane Pickett. Give me 1 second. Tyler Huntley, look, he fumbled the ball, and who was it? Sam Hubbard made a great play, ran it all the way back, and it just reminded me that as good as our defense played, they don't do those things out there, because what happened in that game was Cincinnati had just they made a lot of mistakes. They struggled. They played an ugly game, but they still had guys, even on the defensive side, they're known for their offense, but they had guys on the defensive side that could just make a play. And we didn't have that. And that was the difference in that game. Hold on. Let me read this from Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is here. A loyal, I want to say a friend of the show at this point. Okay, he watches every week and he
I
donates.
think that's fair.
Yes,
That's fair.
yeah. Kenny Pickett from the Pittsburgh Steelers says, Brodny, great Black history fact and bring awareness to Black history. Speaking of history, I want to make some of my own. So Ravens Flock and LBHT crew, I will be coming onto LBHT Show very soon. So get ready. What? Mittens is coming. See you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Pickett, quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, is making an appearance on the show. This is news to me. All right. So I mean, look.
I know both of us. He just announced it.
He's a quarterback for our rival team, but you know he's welcome on here. He also, as you know, we have Steelers fans that support this channel. We have Giants fans that support this channel. We have Cardinals fans, all kinds of fans.
Lions fans.
Yes. Yeah. You know, there was fans plural. There's another guy that came in that subscribed a couple weeks ago that was a Lions fan. Mm-hmm. Look. Kenny Pickett's a fan. What can I say? Okay, so we'll work that out, Kenny. DM us and we'll work out the details. Okay. But yeah, B, your thoughts on the game, and then we'll get into the offseason.
It's just like you said. It was, reminiscent of the old Ravens, right? Where you play really good defense. What's up, Jess Allo? Play really good defense in a game that you shouldn't be in, and the offense can't deliver because the offense has been ignored. Throughout the offseason, right? You don't have now. Obviously, the quarterback thing is Lamar's injured. That's not on them. Injuries happen, but you don't have any wide receivers. And yes, I know that two of their receivers are injured. Doesn't matter. They weren't good enough anyway. Yeah. You don't have the O-line. You don't have the that's not nice. You don't have the coaching staff. Because J.K. Dobbins could have ran that in. He should have ran that in. But you have a coaching staff that says, no, let's quarterback sneak it from nearly 2 yards out, right? Coaching staff that says, hey, let's not give it to J.K. Dobbins, who we drafted in the second round to be the foundation of the greatest running attack the NFL has ever seen. Let's hand the ball off to Mark Andrews. Because whenever anybody says Mark Andrews, what you think is physical runner, right? That's what we all think. Of course, he was going to break 2 tackles in the backfield and get the first down for you. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I thought. You have a coaching staff who, when you're down near the goal line, throws a speed out to a fullback. Why not? Yeah. Why not?
Shout out to David in Gerbo. Says, slow down, Kenny. Don't make me tackle you. You guys are funny, man.
I mean, it seems like slowing down is the only way he'd be able to, though.
Hey, look.
How them Ravens edge rushers are.
There will be no David and I was said in Gerbo. There will be no David Ojabo slander from me. He looked good in the limited snaps that he's played.
Yeah, all 10 of them.
Yeah. Listen. I'm not gonna do the crochet thing. I'm just saying he got a sack and a forced fumble. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, this guy looks awful, right? Like, I'm not gonna sit there and say he's gonna be a bum. I'm just saying, all right, look. I mean, I gotta see more, obviously, but he didn't look bad.
Yeah. He played a decent game, right? So did Owe. Coney Ealy played one of the greatest games I've ever seen in the Super Bowl.
Facts.
Against Denver. That man, he was all over. If Carolina won that game, he was the MVP. He never did anything like that ever again.
Yeah. What's up, Todd Billin? Todd Billin says, I see so many people giving Huntley a pass for that fumble. Imagine if it was Lamar who committed that fumble. You wouldn't hear the end of it. No, I agree.
No, you wouldn't.
But it wasn't Lamar, right? And hey, it is what it is. And honestly, yes, Lamar, like I said, he's polarizing. So no matter what he does, he tweets something out, he puts a picture on his Instagram story, it's going to get talked about. No matter, I mean, that's just where we're at. So you're going to get that, he's going to get that criticism no matter what. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, man, you're trying to do a sneak from 3 yards out, 2 or 3 yards out. Why? Even if the plan was, hey, even if we fall short, we're going to hand the ball off. We're going for it on 4th down. Run the ball twice. And like to J.K. Dobbins' point, because J.K. Dobbins looked amazing. He looked amazing. That that screen, it was almost a blown up screen, and he juked that person, and then that one defender and took it up the field. Yeah. I was like, this. I don't know who I was watching now. I don't. Ever since he came out from the injury, I'm like, who is this guy?
He's been a different player.
Yeah, he looked amazing, and I'm like, he didn't get any handoffs in the red zone
again. David
and Gerbo, another fan of the show, says thank you for treasuring my 10 snaps over what that bum George Pickens did all season. Hey, I do. I really do. But yeah, J.K. Dobbins looked great. And again, Gus Edwards, I just didn't see a whole lot of him. But when he ran well. And I don't understand when you get down there from 2 or 3 yards out, you're not doing the obvious things. I mean, your whole playbook is
obvious deception. Like, that's how you score in the red zone.
Yeah, your whole playbook is predictable, but you do something that nobody can stop, and you just like, let's not do that at the red zone. Let's get cute. Marco G, shout out to you for $3.33. Says what sucks is I can't even talk trash to Bengals fans no more. They went from top 5 lottery pick. Yes, you can.
Why can't you?
Yeah. Top 5 lottery pick to Super Bowl contenders in 2 years, who needs enemies and AFC threats when you got this coaching staff. You can talk trash to them. Okay, they've been to the Super Bowl. They didn't win it. They don't have a Super Bowl win in their franchise history, which is why I was rooting for them to win last year. All right. Everybody's like, oh no, I couldn't take it if they didn't win. You can't let them have one. Right. I want everybody in the AFC North to have a Super Bowl. Okay. It just raises the stakes of those games, right? It means more when you have some accomplished franchises playing against each other, right? I want all of them to get Super Bowl eventually, right? If we're not in it, the Bengals are still going. Out of the teams that are left, well, I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie, I love Patrick Mahomes. I would love to see Patrick Mahomes get another one, but outside of that, I got no problems with the Bengals winning it. And if Lamar doesn't stay, I could care less. I could care less what goes on in this division. I'm just being honest with you guys. All right, let's read some of these comments.
If Lamar doesn't stay, you're clearly the worst team in that division moving forward.
We haven't really discussed that, but what do you guys think about that? Okay, we're going to discuss all scenarios here. Okay,
because we were talking in the Discord a little bit about Byron Leftwich maybe becoming the Steelers offensive coordinator right up until the report came out that Matt Canada is coming back, crushing Shug's heart there. But yeah, I said, hey, if they get Byron Leftwich and Kenny Pickett keeps improving, and they go to work on their O-line, that's going to be the toughest division in football. Because, you expect Deshaun Watson to be back into Deshaun Watson's form next season, right? He didn't play well this year, but he missed a year and a half or whatever it was, and he was on a brand new team, didn't get any kind of practice or anything. So you would expect him to play much, much better next year. You already have Cincinnati, who's one of the top teams in the league, with a quarterback in this 3rd or 4th year, and those receivers who aren't going anywhere. You got Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, which always makes you a threat. But if Lamar Jackson's not there, they're kind of the doormat of the AFC North at that point.
Cool. Let me start with Raven Ron.
That's not nice.
Raven Ron came in first. Thank you for the $5 donation. Raven Ron says, why couldn't we just get blown out by 40 instead of losing like that? Well, I got $100 from J.K. Dobbins and Ravens spread plus 9.5. Anyway, okay, yeah, good for you. Hey, good for you. Gotta win somewhere. Yeah, some damn where. Yeah, I feel you. Gotta win somewhere, man. $100 will make me feel better. I'll tell you that. And go away. You guys.
Oh, mean people.
Says, let the power of the Purple Patrol propel Huntley to the extra 2 yards. Hey, man. It didn't work. Okay. It didn't work. Owe, we weren't that high on Owe coming out the draft. I thought, we both thought he had a good rookie season. I hope that he improved off of that.
Yeah.
He had a good game in that game. Hopefully he can turn things around next year, because we're going to talk about the Ravens offseason now and what moves they should be making. The obvious one is Lamar Jackson, right? We'll separate that. But outside of Lamar, let's assume they
that he's in Carolina.
No, let's assume that they keep Lamar for a second. We'll do both. We'll do both scenarios. Right? But let's.
Right,
well, I mean, listen, we see who you guys are.
I don't even want to talk about that. We got to take that off the board. I don't even want to talk about it. I want to hear that.
Let's assume that
they do the right thing. The meeting, that's supposed to be happening with Lamar and the team. Let's say they make him the correct offer, a proper offer, a non-insulting offer like the one they made before, and he signs it and it's all good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Now what? At that point, you have to put everything you have into wide receiver this offseason. Because we said it on Coach's Stream, it's not just one guy. It's not just, let's get an aging DeAndre Hopkins and we're good. No, you're not good. Okay, you got Rashad Bateman back, but Rashad Bateman has missed the majority of his first 2 seasons, and even when he's played, he's had a lot of drops. I mean, he looks talented, but you don't know, right? You don't know exactly what you have in Rashad Bateman. So you go out and you get a DeAndre Hopkins type, not necessarily him, but a wide receiver of that caliber, and then you go in the draft and you draft a wide receiver as well, and you go into free agency and you get a solid starting wide receiver who can play, just in case that draft pick doesn't work out or Rashad Bateman goes down again. They need to come back with a wide receiver core where Devin Duvernay is their number 5.
Yes.
And those guys, James Prochet, Tylan Wallace, DeMarcus Robinson, those guys had to be gone. They cannot be on the team.
I agree. All right, we got another donation. Shout out to Marco G for another donation. It says, if Ravens were smart and paid LJ 3 years ago before guaranteed contracts became a thing, they wouldn't be in this situation. Or if they invested into 2 elite wide receivers 3 years ago, Ravens could have had leverage during negotiations. Procrastination ain't good. I'll say this. 3 years ago, guaranteed contracts was a thing, just not full. You're talking about fully guaranteed, I think. No, it wasn't a thing, but he was still going to want a lot of money because all these players knew that this new TV deal was coming through, and the salary cap was going to explode. So he was still going to want a lot of money. But I agree, they could have saved a lot of money had they gotten it done the same time the other franchises got their quarterbacks locked up. I agree with that. Right? You see Josh Allen getting paid. They should have been pressing hard to get Lamar paid. And shout out to Banks. DDS says, love the show, fellas. I forgot. I didn't see the second.
Pay Lamar his bread.
Yes. Pay him his bread. Hey, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Man, we getting so much love lately, man. We appreciate you guys. Now, any of you guys that are wondering, look, we got 120 some odd people in here. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. But if you're wondering, hey, where's the super chat? I can't find a super chat. Oh, you can see it. It's right in your face. It's right below B. $ LBHT Show. Okay, that is our Cash App. Also, that pinned link that you see in the chat box will take you to our Stream Elements page. That's how we do super chats over here. Okay. Either way, all you got to do is click on a link or go to the Cash App, leave your donation, leave your comment. You'll get a nice little animation right next to my face right there. Okay. Microphone man will salute you. All right.
Yes.
Somebody asked about PayPal as well. PayPal is just the email, correct?
Yeah. It's the LBHT Show @gmail.com.
Yes. So all kinds of ways to support, and we thank you so much for the support. Yes. Now, I wanted to read this comment by Brandon, because this is how I want to start our offseason right here. Brandon says, why can't we get Byron Leftwich? Listen. So this is what we talked about, right? Mm-hmm. We don't think Greg Roman's coming back. He's not getting fired. His contract is up. I don't think he's going to come back, right? They'll just let him right off to the sunset, so to speak, right?
You hope.
So you think they're going to re-sign him?
I'm not saying they're going to re-sign him, but I remember years ago.
Years ago.
I remember years ago when I would sit and I would say, man, if Carolina would just get rid of Mike Shula, it would be all good. You got Cam, you're drafting these other weapons. If you just get rid of Mike Shula, it'd be all good. And then Ron Rivera woke up at 3 a.m. and said, Norv Turner's the answer. and that's what happened. They fired Mike Shula and they hired Norv Turner, and it didn't get any better.
He said, let's hire the Turners.
Yes, all of them. Scott is available, by the way. He got fired in Washington, which is odd because I think he's actually a talented coach. So I'm not sure why they kind of scapegoated him a little bit there, but hopefully he'll land on his feet.
Raveron, I see you. I got you in 1 second. Appreciate you. But I think this would be a great start, right? Sign Lamar. You bring in Byron Leftwich, right? Because if you're going to keep Harbaugh, we'll see what happens, what they say in tomorrow's meeting, right? Or press conference. But if you're keeping Harbaugh, the next move needs to be, all right, you don't get to pick the offensive coordinator. We pick the offensive coordinator. He's not going to be tied to you, okay? And that coordinator is going to run the offense. Byron Leftwich would be perfect because Byron Leftwich, he got a raw deal just now. He got a raw deal. He has been coaching a great offense for the last 2 years, right? Won a Super Bowl, okay? Made it to the playoffs 3 straight years.
And was doing a good job in Arizona as well before they went to Tampa.
Yes. And because Tampa decided they want to keep a 45-year-old at quarterback and the rash of injuries, we talk about injuries here all the time, but nobody talks about the injuries along their whole O-line over there. They struggled a little bit this year. Still made the playoffs, still won the division. Okay, they got beat by a better team in the playoffs, and they got him up out of there. I think it'd be a perfect opportunity for him to come to a place like Baltimore where he controls the offense, right? There's no, he's there as an offensive coordinator, but we all know Harbaugh's calling the plays. That ain't gonna be the case, right? So he could shine over here with Lamar, right? And his name will be back out there the following year or so, right? And it might even be the guy here. You know what I mean? So, but that would be perfect. That would be perfect for them to bring in somebody like Byron Leftwich and really get things going, along with everything you said at wide receiver. I'm gonna read this from Raven Ron. Appreciate the $20 donation, Raven Ron. He says, pay Lamar, fully guaranteed $200 million, 4 years and incentives, and up to $300 million for games played. Get D-Hop and or Mike Evans. Also, wait for it, tag PQ. I like him with Roquan. The only way, yes, they would have to sign Lamar soon before the franchise tag has to be implemented.
They don't have to tag Patrick Queen. He's not hitting free agency, so they can hang on to him for another. I believe it's just another year.
Another year. Well, they have to pick up his option, I think.
Well, yeah, but they would have had to pick that up before the season. Because what is this his third year? This is Patrick Queen's third year, right? Yeah. So they have to pick it up this offseason. They have to make the decision on his 5th year option. So they've got 2 more years with Patrick Queen if they want him. And I agree, Ron. I think that he played very well with Roquan. The problem is the contract they just gave Roquan is going to make it prohibitive for them to keep Patrick Queen as well. You're not going to have the two highest paid middle linebackers in the league on the same defense.
Look, Griff says that we have draft capital to get D-Hop. We can make it happen. We can make it happen.
Oh, yes, you do. DeAndre Hopkins ain't going for any high picks.
Even if we had to get somebody that costs a lot of money, right? Let's say a high price wide receiver became available. Mm-hmm. You better find a way to make it work. You can always find a way to make it work.
Yes.
Right. You just kicked out $100 million for an inside linebacker. You better have the money for a wide receiver. It's as simple as that. So here's where the money can come from, right? Stop. I wish I wore a shirt. Hashtag defund the defense. Stop spending money on defense, because that is exactly what we're going to be looking at. If we sign Lamar, what everybody's going to point their attention to is we need a cornerback. Let them young guys. You just got to let the young guys play. That's going to be one of those positions. Like, treat the cornerbacks the way you treat a wide receiver, and say those guys are just going to have to step up. We're not bringing in anybody else. If Calais Campbell retires, hey man, we got
Travis Jones
there. You got
Michael Pierce
Matabike.
is coming back. You got Matabike. You got Broderick Washington. You can use day 3 picks to fill out that D line, or just cheap guys in free agency. But let them play.
But that's what it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be, hey, that defense, we invested a lot into it. We're not spending another dime over there. All of our free money that we open up is going to go towards the offensive side. All right. And shout out to who was that made the donation?
That was Banks DDS saying
shout
with the $5 donation saying Bucs fans don't like black coaches. Todd Bowles is next.
You might be right about that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they join a lawsuit too. Let's be a couple more here. DDSQ. Wait a minute. Banks DDSQ. Says Kirk Cousins has had 2 fully guaranteed contracts. That is correct.
People like to forget that they gave him a fully guaranteed deal in Minnesota. They act like it's just the Browns. It's not just the Browns. The owners they're fighting against it, but that's the way it's going at the quarterback position, because those guys are the most valuable players in the league by far, and they want to be paid like premier athletes in other sports are paid.
Yeah. What's up, Darren? Darren has a good question here. He says, can you guys explain why the Ravens offer was insulting? The reporting on that was all over the place.
So the report was $133 million guaranteed at signing, and like $250 overall, I believe is what it was. The 133 at signing, they kind of sold that as, oh, that's more than Kyler just got in his deal, right? But it wasn't, because they asked Lamar, and they asked him about how much of that contract was actually guaranteed. He said it was between 160 and 180. Like he'd want to give a specific number. He said it was between 160 and 180 all told, which would have put him, at the high end, would have put him about 10 million short of Kyler Murray's guarantee that he just signed. And we all know that Lamar Jackson is a much, much better quarterback than Kyler Murray. So you can't come to him after Kyler Murray signs and offer him less than what Kyler Murray just got.
It's not just that, right? It's not just that. It's how Kyler Murray got his money too, right? They put that clause in his contract saying, well, you're gonna have to dedicate time to studying the playbook, insinuating that they're not comfortable with his commitment to the game, but they're gonna pay him anyway, right? There's no questions about Lamar, right? Like anywhere. There's no questions about him, his character, his commitment to the game, his work ethic, none of it. There's no question marks. So why the hesitation? Even this organization, the Cardinals,
or his skill, mind you,
or his skill, right? It's already been validated. So an organization that still has questions about their young quarterback said, "Look, what are we gonna do, man? Like we just got to do it, right?" They pay the money reluctantly, and then took the verbiage out because it got out there. But you're gonna come behind that and offer less than what that organization gave their quarterback? Of course, that's insulting.
And Kyler aside, because I mean, Kyler's a decent young quarterback, right? You don't want to. I'm not trying to crap on Kyler Murray or anything, but Deshaun Watson is the opposite of what you just described with Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of questions about the kind of person that Deshaun Watson is. And I'm being generous by saying there's questions. Most people would say that those have been answered. And he got $230 million guaranteed. So what you're looking at is, again, a guy who, look, obviously we don't know Lamar. Something could come out about Lamar that we don't know about, that's just as bad as Deshaun Watson. We don't know. But as of right now, that hasn't happened. And he looks like a much better person. And again, a much better player. Like Deshaun Watson is a great quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's not really close to the quarterback that Lamar is. And he got the $230 million guaranteed. He had teams fighting to pay him. And you in Baltimore are going to sit there and say, nah, not sure you're worth it.
Here's why I love this narrative. When every time we bring that up, right? Anytime somebody brings up the Deshaun Watson argument, this is how detractors will push back. Yeah, but well, Deshaun Watson is an outlier. That contract is an outlier. Well, how many Lamar Jacksons are out there available? Right, Lamar Jackson's an outlier. Okay, if it's so easy to replace them, I mean, they tried. They tried with Tyler Huntley. They thought they had it. They were so close, B. They were so close, but you didn't, right? Because Lamar Jacksons don't grow on trees just like that, right? So yeah, Lamar Jackson's an outlier. You're gonna have to pay him too. Shout out to KP. What's that say, B?
This is very, very true. Better get a wide receiver before Justin Jefferson's contract. Yeah. Justin Jefferson getting quarterback money. But you know, to what you were saying there, Deshaun Watson's not an outlier either. He got 230 million guaranteed, about 40 million more than what Kyler Murray just got, right? So yeah, it's a jump. But a year, 2 years from now, I mean, maybe not even, maybe by the end of this offseason, right? If Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert get their deals done, how close to 230 do you think they're going to get? Because they're going to get more than Kyler Murray. It's not going to be an outlier. So it's not an outlier in terms of the amount of money that he got guaranteed. It's not an outlier in terms of being a fully guaranteed contract because, again, Kirk Cousins got that already in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So it's not an outlier at all. They just had to pay more because you know how he is an outlier? How Deshaun Watson is an outlier? He is a young, supremely talented franchise quarterback who became available. That is how he was an outlier. That does not happen in football. And it's happening again now with Lamar Jackson. Now, he got that money because that good of a player at that age does not become available in the NFL. And so teams, like I said, were fighting to pay him that money, despite the fact that there were a couple dozen cases pending against him. Right. Now, when Lamar Jackson, if they decide, hey, you know what, we're going to go ahead and trade him because we can't get anything done. We don't, he wants more money than we're willing to pay. If that comes out and they say, hey, we're listening to offers, you're going to have even more teams fighting to pay him even more than Deshaun Watson got.
That's a fact. I mean, the Browns, I mean, as much bad publicity as they got, that lasted for about 3 or 4 weeks. They're like, I don't care. You talking about unapologetic. That one is like, I'm going to come out here and talk to you guys along with my wife, and we're both going to tell y'all the same thing. Y'all can kick rocks. We got our quarterback. Okay, that's all we care about. Danny wants to know if we have PayPal. Yes, Danny, we have PayPal. Yes, indeed. LBHT Show at
gmail.com. Yes. I should probably put together one of those little links there.
Yeah. The LBHT Show at gmail.com. That's our PayPal. Appreciate you asking. Garnett says the whole Buck staff was all minority at one point, though. Yeah. Bruce Arians did that on purpose to put them in positions to get jobs, and it worked for Todd Bowles for now. And listen, to be fair, like Byron Leftwich did have an offer for a head coaching job in Jacksonville. He turned it down. I don't blame him for it, but he did have the opportunity, and I think he'll get another opportunity. He just needs to go to the right place for another year's coordinator. I think he'll be right back out there.
But seeing him turn that down and then get fired the next year for a team, an offense that wasn't really, it wasn't a terrible offense or anything like that, and it wasn't his fault because, again, like you said, you brought back Tom Brady. Now, I'm not even going to blame the team for that. He's Tom Brady. If he says, I want to come back and play, you're probably bringing him back, right? He's Tom Brady. You just won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. If he says, I want to give it another shot, you're giving him another shot. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But there was no reason to fire Byron Leftwich behind that. But it does make you look at Ben Johnson a little differently as well, too. Like you're the hot, or one of the hot coordinator candidates, for head coaching jobs. And to just turn around and look at everybody and say, hey, you know what? Nah, we're doing something special here in Detroit, and I want to see it through. Okay, what if what that GM is saying is true, and he really loves Jared Goff? He's never seen him as a bridge quarterback, and that's just your guy. And you come back with Jared Goff next year, and you win 9 games again, and you don't make the playoffs, and then you don't get any head coaching offers.
That's the risk you
Right?
take. But
Like in the NFL, like when somebody's offering you a head coaching job in the NFL, there's only 32 of them. You take it. Look
yeah,
at Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh went to a Super Bowl in the NFL, and his family is NFL royalty, right? And he's at Michigan 2 years in a row now, begging somebody to hire him, and the NFL said no.
yeah. All right, couple of comments I want to read here. B. Shout out to our guy Helio Dominguez from Brazil. Thanks. Hey, long time no see, my friend. Says, what's up, guys? It's been a while since I don't watch it. Just too much work here in Brazil. Hey, I feel you. Said all 22 made an analysis on Matabike, and he is a beast. But for some reason, he doesn't get enough snaps. I love Campbell, but our young interior D can start for now on and free some cap space. Yes. Well, that's the thing. On the offensive side, the Ravens will tell you gotta let the young guys play. You know, if you bring in veterans, it will hamper their development, right? They don't do that for the defensive side. They actually have better talent on that young defense, but they're like, we don't want to risk it, right? Yes, we got 2 young edge rushers plus Bowser, right? But let's go get Justin Houston and JPP just in case. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, we drafted Kyle Hamilton. Yes, we have Chuck Clark. But let's go get Marcus Williams just in case.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, we drafted like 8 cornerbacks, but they're going to say, let's
go get Kyle Fuller just in case.
Right. So they don't risk it.
And when Kyle Fuller gets hurt in the very first game in Baltimore, let's go get Daryl Worley.
Right. That's what we do over there. I also want to read this. I want to address this. Shout out to JP, man. Thanks for coming through. Says, fellas, Swag Goo mentioned that Mortensen reported Lamar actually was given a $200 million fully guaranteed over a 6-year deal today on First Take. If I'm not mistaken, they definitely didn't report that in September. So Lamar, out of his own mouth, said it was between like 160 and 180. So I don't care what Swagoo or Mortensen said.
If maybe that was a separate offer that they made him, right? But listen, that offer is a joke because 200 over 6 years is 33 a year.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. But that's one of those things. They think Lamar's stupid. Right. And that's what's costing them right now. They think he's stupid. Yeah. 33 million over 33 million a year. Not even close.
Why would I sign for 33 million a year? That's nowhere near top quarterback money. Not even close. 2, why would I sign for 6 seasons? Right. He's 25, 26 right now. You sign for 6, then you're into your 30s. You sign for 3 or 4, you're still at that 29, right at 30, and you can get another massive contract.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah. Guys, I'm clicking on comments here. We're obviously not gonna be able to get to all of these, man. You guys are showing us so much love. There's 160 people in here. 160 people in here. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you are new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. We are here every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. All right. We hope you're enjoying the content. Steve Blockhead says, it seems like the Ravens have never been good at drafting wide receivers. Does the scouting department and entire offensive coaching staff need to go so they can get some production and grow from their wide receiver room? It's a system thing, and it's their philosophy, right?
Yeah.
They don't believe in passing, and they just never really put much of an emphasis there, which is why this coach, Harbaugh ultimately needs to go, and there needs to be a change in philosophy there. Shout out to Keelan for $3.33. Appreciate y'all, man. Says real intel is saying Lamar has decided on Atlanta, Detroit, and Miami as the teams he wants to go to once they don't come to a deal. Lamar has been complaining about the receivers all season and has been saying he's never playing with bad receivers again. I don't know who real intel is. Look, man, there's all kinds of rumors.
But I don't like his intel, so
it could be true, but that seems more like speculation than actual, sources.
Those are the teams that have been out there. So I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be shocking.
So let's talk about it a little bit.
Good
The
for,
thumbnail.
Lamar if he's actually saying, you know what, I'm done with dealing with receiving cores like this. You know,
Yeah,
that's the thing that Cam never really did.
Shout out to Anonymous with $25 donation. How soon do you think Mr. J will win his first Super Bowl?
Yes, and that kind of leads right into what we're about to talk about. That depends on where he ends up this offseason. If he stays in Baltimore, I mean, who knows, right? If you go to a team that's committed to putting real talent around him on the offense, and committed to playing modern football with a good coaching staff, you're talking about very soon, probably.
Yeah. Thank you, Kimberly Harmon says you guys are awesome. I will support you. Love all your streams. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Listen, the Jets will be a dangerous team if they got their paws on him.
As would Detroit.
And I've seen from a few those fan, I guess they're fan sites or writers, local writers. I've seen it all over Twitter, but a lot of reporting out there saying that if Lamar becomes available, they are going to be aggressive in trying to get him. And that goes without saying. I think there'll be a lot of teams, but the Jets, listen, man, whatever you need.
Yeah, look, they've got Garrett Wilson and they've got a few other young receivers there. They've got a good coach, they've got a good defense, but you don't want to see Lamar Jackson throwing to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams with DeAndre Swift lined up behind him and Jamal Williams getting all the goal line carries. He scored 17 touchdowns this year, Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift is a home run hitting running back. Jamison Williams came back off a torn ACL, and I saw him make a catch in the Green Bay game and accelerate, and he just looked different. Like, when you see an NFL player accelerate and pull away from people in the secondary, you don't want that person getting the ball.
Shout out to Keelan. I'm gonna read that in a second, Keelan. But I just want to say this. Let's be real for a second, B. Wherever he goes, they're gonna be dangerous because even teams that we're looking at saying, they don't have a whole lot there, they're going to get it.
There's only one team like Baltimore in the NFL. There's only one team that refuses to put talent on their offense.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter who the team is.
Yeah.
Whoever ends up getting him, because no matter which team it is, they don't have to give up a lot. But no matter who it is, even if the team right now has nothing on it, they will put everything into that team once they get Lamar. So no matter who the team is, it's going to look dangerous. And shout out to Keelan for the donation. Man, appreciate y'all, man. Says, nah, my intel is from someone that talks to his camp. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I thought you were saying it's like a...
okay. I see what you're saying.
Okay.
But if you're looking at Atlanta too, that's another team that already has weapons in place.
Yeah.
You've got Drake London, who they just drafted. You've got Kyle Pitts. Now he's coming back off an injury, obviously, but he's an explosive player in the past game. You've got Tyler Algier, the rookie running back, and then the emergence of Tyler Algier means that you can move Cordero Patterson all around the formation and get creative with him. Mm-hmm. So that's a very dangerous offense as well when you add in Lamar.
Yeah. So he also says Lamar basically already has 1 foot out the door. That's how it is when you're a free agent, man, and you're negotiating. Everybody that is negotiating a new contract has to have 1 foot out the door. But he says he has 1 foot out the door, and the only way he's staying on the Ravens is if major changes, and it's bigger than Roman receiver scheme. He wants Harbaugh gone and a new philosophy. I mean, to me, that seems obvious.
Lamar been watching the show.
And, there's been some speculation about that, too. What's Harbaugh going to announce tomorrow? Because there's been a little speculation that maybe he steps down, right? We've seen OTR Mike say that on the show, that he thinks that Harbaugh's going to step down. I agree with him. I think it's one of those things where he's coached long enough. He sees the writing on the wall, because if Lamar goes and he stays, he'll be toast next year.
Yeah.
Everybody will be fired. And I don't think he wants that to happen. So I can see him stepping down right now. Shout out to AR for the $10 donation. B, would you go ahead and read that for me, please?
Yes. It says, first, thank you guys for all the awesome coverage. Second, if Lamar stays, he should make them get rid of the front office, coaches, and medical staff as a condition for signing. I'm laughing, but that is absolutely true. I mean, they should be looking to get rid of the training staff, period, because that goes even beyond Lamar. You're talking about Lamar, you're talking about J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Ronnie Stanley, Marcus Peters, all these guys who've re-injured themselves or taken much longer to come back than initially thought. So they should be gone, period.
And they should, and all those players you mentioned should be on board with that. They should be saying, we're not playing until you get rid of this guy.
I mean, Derek Wolfe, he's not on the team anymore, but he spoke to that as well.
Yeah, they should all be saying that. D Weezy's in the house. Says LBHT got an NFT yet? Not yet. Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen. No. Top billing, man. I see you in here, man. Appreciate you. You responding to some people in here. What's the argument, Top billing? I didn't want to know you guys. I see a lot of you guys coming in here. Top billing is in here. Helio's in here. Zaul, Drop Boy Kicks is in that house. I haven't seen. Have you been in here before? You seem new. He says maybe they just learning from what happened when they last gave a QB a monster contract. What happened was they still prioritized defense.
Yeah, they dismantled the offense.
Yeah. So
they let Torrey Smith walk and they traded Anquan Bolden.
It's funny, right? Because they say when you give quarterbacks too much money, you give wide receivers too much money, you don't win. Well, we haven't been doing that, and how's that working out? Because we've had Lamar on a rookie deal. So what happened?
And Pat Mahomes got paid, and they're competing, and Josh Allen got paid, and they're competing. So
Dak got paid.
He just beat the brakes off of Tom Brady. So I don't know.
What happened? Yeah. All right. We got another donation here from Anonymous. Appreciate you, Anonymous. Says also Marcus Spears was capping about how much guaranteed money Lamar was offered. He was offered around 180 million. Yeah, that's what we said. But the Ravens combined his 5th-year option money with the 180 guaranteed to make it look like 200 million. Loophole. Yes.
Yeah.
I
love it when teams do that. Love it. Oh yeah, it's a 5-year extension. So over the 6 years, he's gonna make X amount of money. Well, no, he was already making that first year. So
listen, man, I get it, right? I get you doing your best. What's up, Tanja? Tanja's in the house. Says, hey, Jose and Brodny and the flock. I get I get you using your resources through the media because that's just how the game is played, right? When negotiating, even if he had an agent, they'd be doing this, right? Mm-hmm. You're trying it, but the thing that's working against them in Baltimore in particular is one, man, look, you just got a superstar, and this doesn't usually happen with superstars, right? And media has changed, right? Social media is huge now. So mainstream media doesn't have that same grip on the audience like it used to. So, we see people referencing First Take and, Skip and Shannon and all these other places. But even when you watch those clips, you're still going to go and look for other sources of information. That's why you guys are here, right? Yeah. We give you information, we give you our opinions, we combat some of that stuff because nobody's just taking anybody's word anymore. Shout out to Anonymous for a $30 donation. Says, I think Mr. J watches the show and he thanks you. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. J. Thank you, Anonymous. And if he watches the show, tell him, he can drop something in donation too if he wanted to. All right. Shout out to OTR Mike. Says 160 people in here. Hit that like button and subscribe. Yes, indeed. Man, you guys really want to know where Lamar's going. Okay. Attitude Pop says top destinations. I said donation because we got a donation. Said top destinations Lamar will love to go. 49ers, Dolphins. After the draft, they can offer a offer sheet, and if he signs, and it's the Ravens pass the what? Okay, the Ravens get 2 first-round picks. Yeah.
That's if they tag him with the non-exclusive franchise tag, which I mean, who knows which route they'll go there.
We'll see. Did we get another donation in? Yes,
from KP, but I did not see a message there. If you did have a message that didn't come through, go ahead and put that in the chat.
Yeah, throw in the chat. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, though.
Yeah. Danville Carlisle says they keep on underestimating Lamar because he doesn't have an agent. They thought they could take advantage of him. Listen, again, this is how negotiations work, right? So even if he had an agent, this would be going on with the agent, and maybe he sits down with with Bashadi and EDC, and they work out a deal and they say it's all good. It's fine. But they're doing what they can to try to lower the price. He's doing what he can to try to raise the price, and we'll see what happens in the end. It's just all playing out in front of us now. Keelan, thank you for a $2 donation. Says Lamar doesn't want a fully guaranteed deal and has never stated he wants a fully guaranteed deal. That was put out by the Ravens to save face for not offering Lamar what he wanted guaranteed, just $200 million guaranteed. That's what the holdup is, $200 million, and I can believe that.
I can believe it as well, because like to his point, he's never actually said publicly what his contract demands are, and if it's just $200 million guaranteed, I mean, like I know that it's not on EDC, it's not his decision, but man, Baltimore fans need to pull a Cincinnati and sue that team and get that owner up out of there, because $200 million guaranteed is nothing.
Look, man, that's one of those things you go to accounting and say, write the check.
Yeah.
What? Write the check.
I really like also the Ravens, kind of fast tracking a historic deal with Roquan, who also doesn't have an agent, to make it look like they don't have any problem with negotiating with people who don't have an agent. They can do that. It's just Lamar.
Yeah. Shout out to Buck for 420. Says 3rd and 5th for D Hop. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Listen, he's still worth a first round pick to me. Right. I know he's not gonna go for that, but 3rd and 5th, that's nothing for me. Was there another donation that went up there? I thought I saw another one that you put up there.
I put up. Did you see the one from the last one from Mike? He said, "Always remember, kids, the best nation is a donation."
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Man, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out for all the donations. Shout out to the 180 people in here now, B. Well, 179. Wow. We got somebody over there on Twitch too. A couple people over there on Facebook as well. Shout out to y'all, man. Thank you. Thank you. If you are new, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you are audio podcast listeners, this is available wherever you listen to podcasts. So go ahead and follow us there. And if you're listening, make sure you give us a 5-star review. And AR left another donation. What's that say?
Says everybody in the media keeps pushing this agent crap as though it's impossible to do a contract without an agent.
Yeah.
But they don't like people kind of shaking up the what's been the natural order of things, right? So I mean, look, generally speaking, the media, they don't like people on YouTube. They don't like people with podcasts because it kind of threatens what they do. Now, all those networks have kind of moved into that space, so it's cool now.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, the social media, YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff. It kind of threatens what they do a little bit until they kind of can wrap their heads around it and start using it, like everyone else. But it's the same thing with agents. It's just, hey, agents have always been a thing. It's a part of the ecosystem. They've got relationships with all the teams. They got relationships with people in the media, and people in the media don't want to see their friends getting squeezed out.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Dave says, I really hope some team save the Falcons from themselves. The Falcons are a rebuilding team and has no business going after this guy. And I like him as a player. The thing about that, though, is, Dave, when an organization decides we're going to get this guy, usually that means this is a time that we turn our franchise around, right? Yeah. You don't make a big investment and say, whatever, right? And like there's a whole plan that goes in place with that, right? We're going to give this up to go get this guy, and here's how we're going to surround him with talent. This is our plan for winning.
Yeah. And the other part of that is, if you're rebuilding, why do you not want one of the best players in the league at the most important position in the game at 26 years old?
Right.
That accelerates, having Lamar accelerates everything else you do.
Yeah. Keelan says Lamar wasn't mad about Roquan getting his money. No, nobody thinks that. He congratulated him as soon as it happened, but was tight about how quick they gave him what he asked for when they refused to do the same for him. He's going to get the non-exclusive tag, and Arthur Blank will offer $220 million guaranteed, and he'll be gone. Well, listen, man. Again, this is how negotiations work, right? I absolutely think the Ravens were trying to flex a little bit and say, we do things our way and our way wins, except it didn't win. We talk about players taking a gamble on themselves. The Ravens took a gamble on themselves. They just tried it. It almost worked, but it didn't work. You lost, and fans are heated. You got players saying, if Lamar were out there, we would have won, right? You got people in the media. Shout out to RG3, who is a rider for Lamar, boy. He ain't never had a better friend than RG3, boy. RG3 sitting there on that panel with Steve Young and Booger McFarland, like, I'll fight you. I'll fight you. I'll fight you. I'll fight the cameraman. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to RG3. But, like, you got people out there that are just like, yo, this organization has failed Lamar. It's a joke. They've given him nothing. Even Michael Greenberg is just like, who are those wide receivers? Right? So, I mean, you're not pulling the wool over anybody's eyes. It's making you look bad. And to see more and more players vocal about the offense is very alarming. This is a team with an impeccable reputation where players every year are just calling them out.
You know, it's funny because when we went live and we were talking about the Bengals game, there were a bunch of people in the chat asking, oh, did you see J.K. Dobbins? Yo, he's losing it. He wasn't losing it. He was very calm. he knew exactly what he was saying, and it wasn't something that's been on his mind for a while.
I was expecting the same thing when I saw like he had a little smile on his face, like he was very pleasant,
very polite with the media and everything. Like he wasn't like that's not that he wasn't angry, but it wasn't like, oh man, I'm so mad about what just happened. I'm just gonna let it fly. Like, no, this is what he's been thinking for a while.
And the word that kept sticking out was tired. I'm tired. I'm just tired, man.
Yeah, because it's been going on, and this dude's only been in the league a couple of years, and he's tired. This is his third year. He's only actually played in 2 years. He said, "I'm sick of this. This ain't how we did it at Ohio State." I'll tell you that.
This is reminiscent of Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown asked for a trade after what, 2 years?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Man, listen, Hollywood Brown asked for a trade in 2 years. Orlando Brown asked for a trade after his second year, right?
Not after. I think it was after his third year.
After his third year, okay, I
believe so.
Yeah. I think you're right. And now you got JK saying, "Look, I'm tired of this." Yeah. Like that is crazy. All from the offensive side. Mm-hmm. Willie Snead has made comments about this offense.
Even Des Bryant made comments about it.
Des Bryant made comments about this. The wide receivers coach,
David Culley made comments.
David Culley, right?
we were just talking about that the other day about how Ravens fans were kind of like good riddance to Dave Culley, but passing offense ain't been as good since he left.
It sure hasn't.
So
it sure hasn't. What's up, Adit? Adit Mahmood is in the house. Says, wouldn't be surprised if Lamar signs soon. It looks like Roman is on the way out, and the new OC candidates will want to know the QB situation.
Not if it's a Harbaugh friend. Not if it's a friend of the family.
Yeah, not if it's his nephew, right? We'll see. We'll see. Look. Let's keep the show going because here's my fear. B. My fear is there is huge news like Harbaugh steps down tomorrow and we have to stream again. Okay, that's my fear. So read a couple more comments because we gotta get to the Panthers side. We're already over an hour.
I see what y'all are doing. I see what y'all are doing. And thank you to Joy. There was not a message there, but if you did have a comment, go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll bring it up. But appreciate the donation.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you.
I see what y'all are doing. You keep sending in donations so we won't talk about the Panthers. What?
They've been listening to Hendo. They're like, hey, you keep sending donations, keep the show.
You got your money, and here we go. All right. For those who don't
hold on. Yeah, hold on. So yes, we're in the Panthers portion. For those who don't know how this works, this is Ravens and Panthers stream. We don't spend as much time with the Panthers stuff right now. But we're gonna talk a little Panthers. Then we're gonna make some playoff picks, and then we can go into bonus time, and we can talk some more Ravens or whatever you want to talk about.
Because you know why? Because this is going to veer into I think what a part of the problem is with Lamar as well. But we'll get to that in a minute. So the Panthers have fired Matt Rule early in the season, right? Great move. Just a round of applause for David Tepper. It was a year late, but whatever. So now, they got Steve Wilks. He's one of the candidates. They went 6-5 with Steve Wilks as the head coach. He did a really good job, really admirable job. But I don't really want Steve Wilks. I don't think he's that good of a coach. And a lot of those wins were over teams who, had losing records, right? He's one of the candidates, and they've been interviewing a lot of people. They've been interviewing a lot of offensive-minded head coaches, or coaching candidates, I should say. And one of them was Ben Johnson, who is the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, who had their own amazing turnaround this season. The second half of the year, they kind of went crazy. They ended up 9-8, just missed the playoffs. And he was one of the hottest candidates out there. And, he was being interviewed by multiple teams, but the reports were that he was the leading candidate to get the Panthers job until he came out and told everybody who had talked to him that he wasn't taking a head coaching job. He wanted to stay in Detroit. They're building something special, and he wanted to be a part of it. Okay. I mean, that's all right. That's fine. Listen, I part of me agrees with them, right? Like, I do think they're building something special there, and it could go the way, it could go one way where
Matt Rule is such a weasel. Wow. Matt. I was thinking about Matt Rule, like what he said about how I thought I had 4 years to build this
if
team
I had
up.
4 years, I'd do it differently.
He's a weasel, man. I'm sorry. Like we said, they're building something special. It reminded me of what Matt Rule was saying, that he left Steve Wilson with something special over there.
This is pretty funny considering you have a quarterback and are refusing to pay him, and you don't have any idea who your quarterback is going to be week one, Ashanti.
It might be Sam Darnold.
Thanks for chiming in, I guess.
Don't jinx us. Don't jinx us, Ashanti.
Yeah. So Ben Johnson's going back to Detroit, and so now Carolina. They had requested permission to talk to Sean Payton. And the reports are that they're going to be meeting him in Manhattan, and that David Tepper is ready to give him whatever he wants to be the head coach in Carolina. And I do not like it. I know that Sean Payton had a great career in New Orleans. They were always kind of contenders there, even though they only won the one Super Bowl with Drew Brees. But, they were always competitive. He always did a pretty good job there. I don't listen. This is one. I don't really think that Carolina's one on his list. But when you get into a room with a guy with that much money and he says you can have whatever you want, things can change, right? Because Matt Rule wasn't going to be the Panthers coach either. He was going to be the Giants coach. That's where he wanted to coach, right, until David Tepper talked to him. But I'm not 100% certain that Sean Payton goes somewhere else and has the same kind of success. But more to the point, I just don't like Sean Payton. He made those comments about Lamar recently on the show with Mike Vick and Charles Woodson night, and he's always had just this kind of sleazy feel about him to me.
Yes.
And also a part of that is this quote. This is from an article from 2012 in the Herald by Scott Fowler. They're buried deep in the NFL's press release about the punishments. This is about Bountygate. Was this interesting and disgusting nugget? Payments were made for plays such as interceptions or fumble recoveries. All such payments are against league rules. Payments also were made for plays on which opposing players were injured. In addition, specific players were sometimes targeted. The investigation showed bounties being placed on 4 quarterbacks of opposing teams: Brett Favre, Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, and Kurt Warner. Multiple sources have confirmed that several players pledged funds toward bounties on specific opposing players, with defensive captain Jonathan Vilma offering $10,000 to any player who knocked Brett Favre out of the NFC Championship game in 2010. Now, obviously, if you remember that, the players all kind of got away with that. They didn't have sufficient evidence on them. The DC Greg Williams was suspended for, I believe, a year. I don't remember the specific punishment that Payton got. I believe he was.
I thought Payton got a year. I thought Williams got longer.
No, I think Greg only got the 1 year. But yeah, but Payton was suspended as well. And I really don't like the idea of bringing in a coach who specifically targeted the greatest player in your franchise's history to come in and coach your team.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think it is, I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but I think it is a part of it is because he's a black quarterback, right? And they just don't care. They don't value Cam Newton's legacy. And that's kind of what I see in Baltimore as well, where, I mean, if that were Johnny Manziel, who went out there and was unanimous MVP and was out there in the city and everybody loved him and he was winning a bunch of games, they wouldn't have any problem paying him, right? But they don't value Lamar the same way that Carolina never valued Cam Newton. So, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of a little rant on Sean Payton himself. I don't want that guy in Carolina, particularly if he's talking about bringing in Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, which is kind of a rumor that's out there. But just the amount of disrespect to a legend from your franchise to bring in a coach who was instructing his players to injure your guy.
Yeah. Now, Ashanti says Sean Payton, I highly doubt, wants to coach the Panthers. Listen, man, coaches want to go someplace where they feel like they can leave their mark, right? And the Panthers have a lot of good pieces there, right?
Ashanti is just in denial about who the Baltimore Ravens actually are. Well, that's what's going on here.
I'm not sure he's taking a shot, but you know.
Oh, you know he is.
So but amongst Panthers fans, there's a lot. There's some people out there that don't really believe that's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. But listen, man, like the same thing with getting a quarterback, right? If a team's showing the willingness to give up enough, right? If Tepper is willing to give up the same kind of control that he gave to the Weasel, Matt Rule, right? That could entice him because I don't think.
Why would you give that to a guy who tried his hardest to make Taysom Hill a thing?
I think. Look, the teams that we're talking about Panthers, we're talking about Raiders, Cardinals, right? That would possibly. I'm not sure who else would be out there. The Raiders, will probably give them the same kind of deal. I'm not sure they have they don't have the capital, right? Oh, actually, take the Raiders out. They can't even afford to get rid of Josh McDaniels. So scratch the Raiders. So we won't even be the Raiders. So whoever you're looking at, right? Out of those teams, which one of those teams is willing to give Sean Payton that kind of control? Yeah. Now the Panthers just show the willingness to do it, and they're probably willing to do it again, right? They said, hey, we did it for Matt Rule. That was a mistake because he was a college coach. Now we got a Super Bowl caliber coach, and he knows what he's doing. I could see them making the same mistake, and it would be a mistake to do that, right?
But I think Denver is also willing to do that as well.
But Russell Wilson's going to have some input there too, right? Because he kind of has control
after the way he played this season.
His contract does, right? They have to make it work. So it's got to be somebody that he's willing to work with, that he's receptive to. And if he looks at Sean Payton like, nah, I'm not feeling Sean Payton, they're not going to go with Sean Payton. And we got another we got another donation.
Yes.
I'm sorry, B. What was this?
From Anonymous, a $15 donation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is asking, will O.C. Dorsey be interviewed by the Panthers? Talking about Ken Dorsey from Buffalo. He is going to interview. I believe it's tomorrow that he's scheduled to interview. And I'm pulling for Ken. Those who don't know, I'm also a Miami Hurricanes fan. Ken Dorsey is the quarterback of the greatest college football team of all time. He was the quarterback coach in Carolina in 2015 when Cam won MVP and they went to the Super Bowl, went 15-1. He went to Buffalo and helped develop Josh Allen. I think he's going to be a great head coach. I really do. That's wherever he goes, but I hope he ends up in Carolina.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Buck says rumor is Cards aren't in on Payton due to first round compensation. Well, we'll see. Danny says Broncos, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, Sean Payton is so fake. He talked about hooking up with Lamar, but then talks reckless about him in the same breath. He is grimy. What I think it is you have like you look, they get into these pre-production meetings, they have these discussions, they say, hey, we're gonna say this narrative, and they all go out there and say something, right? And whether they believe it or not, they're gonna spin a narrative. I think that's what it is. If they hire Sean Payton and they're going after Lamar, Sean Payton will walk back everything he said. A guy like that has no integrity, right? He has no values. He doesn't stand on anything he says. So he can say something like that and turn right back around and be like, "No, I didn't mean any of that." You know,
Right.
or he'll even go as far as say, "I didn't say that. I said that. No, I didn't say that. I wasn't even gonna bring that up because he just talks that trash."
Now about a yearly, and I mean literally a trash Panthers team. And why would the Panthers give a division rival 2 first-round picks for him? First of all, it doesn't cost 2 first-round picks to get Sean Payton, so you already don't know what you're talking about. Second, I'm saying that you're in denial because you don't know what's going on with Lamar. You don't know where Lamar's going to be. You don't know if Lamar's going to be your quarterback, and if he's not your quarterback, Baltimore is garbage. You've been seeing that the last 2 years. So I don't know why you're in here trying to talk trash about Carolina, a team that's actually on the upswing, when you've got EDC and John Harbaugh and Greg Roman ensuring that you can never be relevant unless they're all climbing on top of Lamar's back and riding him. And he may not be there.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming through, Ashante.
Yes, thanks for watching. Look, and if we don't bring back Lamar, I hope you continue to come through here. I feel like I feel like you'll make yourself minimal, but but listen, the Panthers, whether they get Lamar or not, they are they're in the right, they're moving in the right direction, right? They will get things turned around. But they have to get this part right. They have to get the coaching part right.
Listen, I talk about them getting Lamar because I think they can make a good offer. And obviously, I love Lamar Jackson. I would love for him to be the quarterback in Carolina, but it's not likely, right? There are better teams who are ready to win, right now, who are good teams right now, even without their quarterback. So yeah, he's likely going to go to a team like San Francisco, a team like the Jets, something like that. But Carolina, they're in a position to really set themselves up to be contenders in the near future, right? You're picking 9th. You can trade up and get CJ Stroud. You can stay right there, take Anthony Richardson. You make the right hire at head coach. You've already got a good young O-line that's only going to get better. You've got DJ Moore, who's a very consistent, very good number 1 receiver. Now they need to add to that receiving core. They don't have a number 2. They don't have a tight end, but those are spots that are fairly easy to fill, right? And if you're not talking about trading for Lamar, you're looking at a team that has a lot of young talent on defense, a lot of impactful young talent on defense, not like the young talent they have in Baltimore. These guys make plays. You got Jeremy Chin, you got J.C. Horn, Brian Burns, Derek Brown, among some other guys, but that's the kind of core of the defense. And they're in a position where they're looking at having a very solid roster moving forward, as long as they make the right choice at quarterback and head coach, which to be fair, are 2 of the hardest positions to get right.
Yeah. Who's this? V single 60 says, really, you may not like Sean Payton's sleazy ways. I will say he can really put together an offense. I agree.
Yeah, but that's not all it's about.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah. Be the change you wish to see. He said Stroud would be nice. They're not going to get Stroud. They're not going to be in position to get Stroud.
They can get Stroud.
You think he'll be that 9th? Oh, you mean
they would have to trade up. People were saying probably to 5th. To get him, but they'll be in position. If they want Stroud, they can get into position to get him using San Francisco's picks that they traded for Christian McCaffrey.
Hey. So I see some discourse going on in the chat. Keep it respectful. All right. Don't attack each other in our chat. All right. We got a lot of new people in here. Our mods, if you see anything disrespectful going on, you know what I'm saying, check them real quick. All right. Keep it respectful. Look, there's a lot of people in here. Everybody want to get their thoughts off. I get that. Everybody got a lot of different opinions in here. I get that. You guys already know we can, we can argue. We like to argue too sometimes, but keep it respectful. All right. Justin P says Panthers' next head coach will be a familiar face, John Fox. Just kidding.
Listen, John Fox went to the Super Bowl with 2 different teams.
We brought up John Fox the other day because it was floating around on Twitter. The gatekeepers, the super fans, if you will, were out there trying to defend John Harbaugh, saying, hey, if you're trying to get rid of John Harbaugh, just consider his record. And there's only been 100 some odd coaches in NFL's history that have had winning records, and Harbaugh is one of them. So be careful what you wish for. John Fox got a winning record.
Mm-hmm.
You want John Fox? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Anonymous, says, will the Panthers keep Mr. Darnold as backup? That's an interesting question.
It is.
And Justin asked about Matt Corral earlier. I saw that, Justin. He asked about Matt Corral. He wanted to know your thoughts on Matt Corral.
I don't think Matt Corral's the guy. I watched him in college, and I didn't really like what I saw. I was hopeful that he would be able to develop just because they spent the pick on him and he was a Panther, right? But now with the way this season has gone, I don't think he's ever going to play for Carolina, so it doesn't really matter either way. In terms of Sam Darnold, I think that it would be nice if he could stay as a backup. I respect that Sam went and put in a lot of work on his own while he was injured to improve, and you saw the improvement when he came back. He came back from that injury a better quarterback than he was previously, right? And listen, he hasn't been what people thought he would be, but he still has that's the talent, right? And I think that's a theme across the league where there's a ton of guys who could play quarterback in the NFL, but there aren't a lot of coaches who are able to prepare them to play quarterback. And I think that was part of Sam's problem, where he went somewhere where he didn't get good coaching. And they just kind of threw him out there and they said, hey, I know you're 20 years old or whatever you are when we drafted you, but go be leader of men in New York. Good luck. And it was a team and it didn't go well. So if they bring in a good quarterback coach, there's no reason that you can't coach up Sam Darnold at the same time you're coaching up a rookie that you just drafted, whether it's CJ Stroud or Richardson, whoever it is. And that would benefit Sam and ultimately Carolina if he continues to improve, and maybe they trade him down the line.
Yeah. San Antonio Light says John Fox ain't bad.
He's not a sexy pick, I'll tell you that. but like I said, he has taken 2 different organizations to the Super Bowl, so there is something to say for that.
That's yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. You're right. If you guys signed John Fox, you brought him back, how would you feel about that?
I would be looking for a new team. But I would wish them the absolute best.
All right, look. This time for rapid fire for real. Okay. Yes. Rapid fire for real. I got a graphic here. I got one. I found one. Where is it? Right here. All right. Listen, the games, the schedule gets slimmer and slimmer. All right. So the picks are coming in fast. All right. Mm-hmm. But we're gonna make our picks. It's the divisional round of the playoffs. If you want to make picks along with us, type fast. All right, let's go, B.
All right. Well, since there's only 4 games, yes, you better type extremely fast. We'll start in the AFC. Jacksonville and Kansas City. This is the only game that I'm looking at from this week where I'm like, this is pretty lopsided. And I think we all know that I'm going with Kansas City here.
I think it's going to be entertaining, but I got Kansas City winning, but I think it's going to be an entertaining game.
Oh, I didn't say it wouldn't be entertaining. I love watching Kansas City beat people down. Down in the other AFC game this week, we got Buffalo versus Cincinnati in a rematch of the Monday night game that was canceled from a few weeks ago. Neither one of these teams is looking particularly good right now. They're really not. But Buffalo, I think, is getting better. They're getting players back on defense. They're getting healthier, and I don't know. This is kind of a toss-up to me. I'm I'm gonna pick
because Buffalo has a good defense too.
Buffalo has a very good defense, but I'm gonna pick the Bills, and I'm gonna pick the Bills on the strength of Stephon Diggs being the best wide receiver out of that group, and I think that they'll have the advantage in the run game with James Cook.
You think Diggs is better than Chase?
Yes.
I don't agree with that. I'm taking Cincinnati. That's right.
All right, moving on to the NFC, we got the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles, and got to give credit to Daniel Jones, who has been playing pretty well. I know it's his contract year and everything, but I think it's more to do with Brian Daboll being there. But Daniel Jones has been a legit weapon for the Giants. It's not really going to matter this week because they are playing Philly, who is they are also well coached. And they are a lot more talented. Taking the Eagles there.
Yeah, I got the Eagles.
And in the throwback game of the week, oh my goodness, is it 1993 again? We got the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers, and people were kind of doubting Dallas, and rightfully so. Dallas recently has been kind of up and down. They don't really live up to expectations, right? But they went into Tampa and they took care of business. And I think they're going to go into San Francisco, and I think they're going to do the same. I think Brock Purdy is going to be exposed by that Cowboys defense. And unfortunately, I think that Christian's not going to get his ring this year.
Man, look, shout out to Kyle Shanahan. I've had issues with Kyle Shanahan dating back to when he coached with his pa over in Washington.
His pa.
I didn't like the way he handled Donovan McNabb. I didn't like the way he handled RG3. I had my issues with him, but he's doing a damn good job as a head coach. I had to give it to him. And to be down to your third string quarterback and still taking care of business speaks a lot.
Okay? It does.
With that being said, I'm gonna go with Dallas. I'm gonna go with Dak and Dallas.
Yes. So that's it for this week. The season is almost over, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yes.
The most exciting time of the year and the saddest time of the year as well.
It is. But we are going to have a lot to talk about this offseason, and we'll continue the conversation coming up in just a minute. But first, a word from our sponsors. Ourselves. Yes. If you guys look at what we're wearing, you like what we're wearing and say, man, that looks pretty cool what you guys are wearing. I know you can't really see it too well because of my background. Let me take off the green screen effect so you can get a better look. Let's take a look here. Look at that. Yes. You're saying, Jose, that shirt is nice, man. Where do you get that? You like that beanie that B was wearing? You like the one that I had early on? Yes, there it is. Okay, right there. All of that is available. All of that is available right here. LBHTShow.com/shop. Okay, you can get this merch that we're wearing plus a whole lot more. Okay, for our Panthers fans, we do a Panther segment on here. You're looking for some Panthers merch. Look at that right there. Look at that guy. Okay, you should have seen him before he had the shirt on. Right before we handed it to him, he was super excited. And then when we told him he had to get the shirt back, he was like, "Oh man," So look, we got that, and we got a whole lot more on that store. Okay, so go over there and check it out. Also, you guys have been supporting the show all night, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Another way you can support is right below B. $ LBHT Show. That's the Cash App. Yes, that's the Cash App. Also, patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. Now, look, we still got 140 people in here. You guys are still rocking strong. Okay. Now, you're not able to get to all the comments like we used to. Okay. That's just the reality. You guys been showing out. These comments are coming in here fast, and I try to click on as many as I can. The best way to, you really want to be heard, you want to have a deeper conversation. Okay. We do a overtime show. Okay. Not as many people in there. It's a little bit more laid back. You can leave your comments on that show. Also our Discord. Okay, if you have $3, for just $3, we are building a community, an LBHT crew community. Okay, if you have just $3 in your pocket, because essentially it's a one-time fee, for being real about it. Sign up, join the Discord. You wanna unsign after that, feel free, but stay in the Discord. All right. But that community is ongoing. This conversation is going on 24/7 in there. All right. So we have more perks that we're going to tell you about. B's going to tell you about them right now. Tell them what they get for our tiers.
Yeah. So for the $3 tier, it's kind of a general support tier, but it also gets you into our NFL Pick'em League that we do every season, where we give away a custom LBHT trophy to the winner.
That's
and
it right there.
we had told Hendo that we weren't going to show Mike anymore, but oh well. It's going to be a different trophy.
I didn't tell him. You told him.
We got a new logo, so the trophy's going to be different. We'll see it once it's produced and sent out to the winner, who unfortunately was Hendo this year. But congratulations to him. The $10 tier will get you the LBHT crew coin that Jose has, or does he does have it. It also gets you into our fantasy football leagues. We have a dynasty league that plays for the custom LCFL championship belt that gets sent out to the winner every season. We also have a redraft league that we do every year just for fun. If there's enough interest, we'll start up a second dynasty league as well. And we have the $20 tier, which is a combined tier for this show and our boxing podcast that we do with OTR Mike, Ring Kings podcast. So you get everything that I mentioned, as well as our custom poker deck featuring our top 25 fighters of all time. And all of the tiers will get you into the overtime show that Jose mentioned, as well as entrance into the Discord server.
Yes. And speaking of the overtime show, this is what we're talking about. More NFL playoffs. Yes. More football talk, more NFL talk. Like we said, we have followers of the show that are fans of other teams. Our guy Ferris is a Giants fan. Our guy Buck, he's a Cardinals fan. You know, Suge is a Steelers fan. You all know Suge. All right. You guys saw Kenny Pickett was in here donating earlier. All right. George Pickens has made donations to the show. Okay. They love us. Okay.
I really wonder why, like, with what they make, they're donating like $1, but that's all right.
I mean,
it's a thought.
Yeah. Like they said, we're still on our rookie deal. Once we get that new money, then we can splurge a little bit.
Yes.
All right. Listen, we are at the portion of the show, bonus time. Okay. We're going to spend a few minutes because this is hashtag no 2 hours over here. We've been going for over an hour and a half. We'll spend a few minutes reading comments, whatever you want to talk about. I'm sure you want to talk more Ravens, like Manuel in here. Manuel's Call of Duty says, Jose, thoughts on tomorrow's presser? All right, let's get it started. Fire up that bonus time, B. Let's go. All right.
What's up, Black Daniels?
What's up, Black Daniels? Yes. Whenever you show up, you're right on time. Thoughts on tomorrow's presser? B, I hope it's nothing major.
I'm not doing it. I'm not streaming tomorrow. I'm not doing it. I don't care. I don't care if John Harbaugh steps down and announces that Sean McVay is taking his place, and they signed Lamar, and Cooper Kupp's coming too. I'm not doing it.
We're gonna stream if it's major. Okay, not something. Not Now, if he says something that grabs some headline or anything like that, it has to be something major. If he announces I'm stepping down, or we sign Lamar, or something big like that, we'll do a quick stream. It's not going to be at 2:35 or whenever the stream ends, right? Because I think 2:30 is when they had the presser, so it will be later on, probably around this time or so. Okay. So there's that. But what I think about it, I don't think much, man. Like, this organization is so stubborn. They're so against change in a league that's constantly changing, and you constantly have to adjust. They're so against it. I just don't see them really saying much. And honestly, if I'm the press, I would let it know if we have a presser and you don't say anything. I would be writing about that. Like, I don't want to be invited to these things if you're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Why waste my time going over to listen to you guys talk about nothing? I don't even want to hear you talk about your take on the Lamar situation, because I don't trust anything that you say.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't need to talk about why he wasn't out there. You don't need to talk about what's going on with negotiations unless you're saying, hey, we're really close to a deal and that deal is going to get done soon. We expect to have him locked up. Yeah, that's newsworthy, right? Yeah. Harbaugh is going to step down, or even he says, I'm going to step down after this year. We're bringing in Byron Leftwich as offensive coordinator. He's going to take over when Harbaugh steps down. Yeah, that's newsworthy. But anything outside of that, don't waste my time.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything major. Like, actually, maybe, hey, we're not bringing back Greg Roman and T. Martin's going to be the OC, something like that.
That's not enough. That's not enough for a stream, guys. Sorry.
I don't see it being John Harbaugh stepping down or any major announcement like that. Fingers crossed on that, because I don't want to stream.
Todd Billen says, I think LJ is fed up with Harbs. I think LJ has finally seen through Harbs' phoniness, I think he meant to say. Yeah. So if that's the case, then Steve Bisciotti needs to come in and just say, yeah, man, it's your time. Because, again, if I'm Steve Bisciotti, right, we're being real about it. If Lamar isn't here next year, they don't have a good enough plan. They don't have a good enough plan to make this team competitive next year, right? They're just going to be bad. And if that happens, the fans will demand, even the fans that are on your side right now will demand that heads roll, and Harbaugh will be fired, possibly EDC as well, right? Mm-hmm. And if Lamar's telling you, I'll stay, you just got to get rid of Harbaugh. Well, I mean, I was already going to fire him anyway. Gone. No worries, right? So, I mean, look, he's reached the 5 years with the quarterback. You've never had a coach and QB combination ever win a Super Bowl together. They haven't done it within their first 5 years. It's been 5 years, right? So they would have to do something that hasn't been done before in the NFL, which can happen. Things happen, but it doesn't look good. And if your quarterback's saying, I don't like this guy, then you get rid of him. Yeah. That's easy. All right. What else we got here, B? What you were looking at?
Oh, no, I was looking at Todd Balance. Anything. Greg Roman's coming back. Okay. That would be a tragedy.
Yeah. Black Daniel says Harbaugh checked out this season. It was obvious. Seemed like it at times, right? It seemed like it.
And I think that's because he knows that a lot of the players kind of checked out from his message. I think they went Harbaugh deaf, and he could probably feel that.
Yeah, when you have players constantly speaking out about your offense, getting rid of Roman isn't good enough at this point, right? They're losing your message. They're not hearing you, and just bringing in another because what he doesn't want to do is give up control of the team, and he feels like if he brings in somebody that's not his guy, he feels like he's giving up control, right? If you got somebody that if you say, hey, this guy's gonna come in, he's just gonna call the offense, and you just you don't have any say in that, like it was with Gary Kubiak. He doesn't want that either. He probably honestly he'd rather quit than have that again.
Yeah,
that was a good season for them, but that to him he probably hated that season the most. All right. And shout out to Anonymous for a $15 donation. Says, will Mr. Jackson have 40 plus passing TDs and Super Bowl MVP by 24? Well, he's
2024.
Oh, 2024.
It depends on where he goes.
Yeah.
He's not going to have that in Baltimore.
Not unless they made some huge changes, which I don't see them making.
Yeah. If he ends up on a team like San Francisco, absolutely. 100%. If San Francisco makes a trade for Lamar Jackson, they are instant favorites to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. JP says Bisciotti has to speak now to the fan base more than ever. I agree. Daniel Franklin says if Roman leaves, we will promote Urban. Our QBs have terrible fundamentals. Or T, the head of weakest position group in the league. Yeah. This promote from within ain't gonna work this time. What else we got here? Noah says it's been time for a philosophy change. I agree. Mm-hmm. D Weezy says Ravens finished the season with 426 run plays and 426 pass plays. The balance of a Harb offense. Yeah.
Terrible.
It's not good enough. What they showed was this offense can't do anything unless Lamar is running it. And as valiantly as they played in the playoffs, nobody, this is different. I don't think anybody looked at that playoff game and said, you know what, a full year of camp for Tyler Huntley as a starter, getting starting snaps, and man, we can just run it back with Tyler. I haven't heard anybody say that. Have you?
No.
Nobody believes it. Yeah, everybody looked at that game and was just like, yeah, you might want to go ahead and sign Lamar because you ain't sniffed in the playoffs without him. What else we got here? Just Alex says the Ravens are low key one of the worst franchises at hiring minority coordinators. Yeah, no arguments there. I mean, one of the worst. I mean, they're all bad.
Yeah, they're all battling for 32nd on that one. Yeah.
Man, Wells Call of Duty channel says, what about hitting Cliff Kingsbury? Cliff Kingsbury is in Thailand. He bought a one-way ticket there, and he told teams he's not interested right now. So,
and you don't want Cliff Kingsbury.
No. Yeah, if we're gonna go that route, just go Byron Leftwich. Okay, Byron Leftwich. Zawo says, well, in the NBA, there's a bunch of players in the trade block like D'Angelo Russell, OG Anunoby, Mike Conley, Terry Rozier, Cam Reddish, Rui Hachimura. What? I thought he was gonna work out for the.
He is. He's working out. He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I was told that the Lakers were going to trade for Bradley Beal somehow, so I want to see that happen. I was told they're going to trade for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, so I want to see that happen.
Don't waste this season, this great season by LeBron so far. Don't waste it.
I see a comment about Luka asking the Mavs to upgrade the roster, as he should be, because that team is a joke for that good of a player. You know, I was excited when they brought in Christian Wood. I thought that's a good start, but it was just a start. And they let Jalen Brunson walk, and they haven't done anything else, and they are failing Luka.
Who was that player for the on the Rockets? Who was the young player they got?
You talking about Jalen Green or?
It's not Green.
You talking about somebody they drafted this year, Jalen Smith?
I think it's I can't remember. But his dad played against LeBron in LeBron's rookie year.
Yeah, not Jalen. Jabari Smith.
Jabari Smith, yes. I saw that clip where he goes to LeBron's like, "Hey, you played against my dad your rookie year," and LeBron's like, "Damn." He's like, "You feel old, don't you?" You know what's really funny about that moment? LeBron scored like 48 points in that game.
Right. And you should have looked at him like, not really.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy to see LeBron still one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, you guys know how we feel about LeBron. I think he's the GOAT, and we grew up on Michael Jordan, so it is what it is. Joy Walker says Mike Flores said it. Clown. Said what? What are you talking about? I missed something, Joy. I'm sorry. Type it again. I missed what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Kubiak will not. That clip was hilarious. Oh yeah. That clip was funny. It was funny. Manuel says LeBron is like Brady. He ain't breaking down like Brady yet, though.
Nah, yeah. See, he's actually still at the top.
Yeah. So, all right, a couple more. Let's get out of here. We got a minute. Oh yeah. We're close to the 2 hour mark. We gotta get out of here. Lamar should never go to Las Vegas. People career die with the Raiders.
Not Darren Waller.
Not the running back.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Because they declined his 5th-year option. We'll see where he goes.
They regret that.
I'm sure they do. But Zamir White season.
I think. Do I still have him on our Dynasty League?
Yeah.
Or did I cut him?
You got him.
Oh, Mike Florio. Oh, she's saying, Mike Florio. Mike from PFF. Yeah. I mean, look, yeah, you like the haters out there in mainstream media. It's obvious which ones don't like him, and we actually did a video about that. we did 2 videos about the hate that Lamar gets in the mainstream media and where it comes from, right? A lot of that comes from, obviously there's a race element to it, and Mike Florio definitely plays that part of it. A lot of you guys don't remember Mike Florio from when he was just a blogger. When Pro Football Talk was just a blog, and he always had he always want to talk about the negative things from players. He had this ticker for days gone without NFL player being arrested, right? Like he's that guy, right? He's always been a dirtbag, and he still is. So, but yeah, him along with a lot of people kind of just put Lamar in that black quarterback box, like, oh well, he'll probably work out more like a wide receiver, or he'll only be a running quarterback, he'll only be this, or he won't be that good, all that stuff, right? And Lamar just crushed all of that and became the league MVP, led the league in touchdown passes, right? Still one of the best passers in the league, right? No matter what metric you look at, he's one of the more accurate, more efficient quarterbacks in the league, right? And obviously he's everything to the Ravens. And you just got people that they're embarrassed because they got clowned on their takes, and they're always trying to find ways to poke holes, in Lamar's image and his game. And also the other part of it too is just, man, Lamar gets a lot of clicks. We put a Lamar in a lot of our titles because you guys are going to click on it, and there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Lamar. He's polarizing. He's the most polarizing player in the NFL. You could say he's not the best, but if I put Pat Mahomes, who I love, if I put him in this title, y'all ain't clicking on Pat Mahomes, right? If I put Josh Allen in the title, y'all ain't clicking on Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson, I don't care who you're a fan of. If I put Lamar Jackson in this title, you're going to click on it. You want to see what we're talking about in terms of Lamar Jackson. Yeah, Bill Polian was another one. Oh, I'm sorry, B. I clicked off of it. What were you saying? Okay.
Snoop could handle the Ravens offense. Yeah, if you want to win 4 games.
No. She's saying that's what Mike Florio was saying.
Yeah. Well, still, if you want to win 4 games, he can handle the Ravens offense.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying that. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that. She said, "Thanks for the insight." Yeah, the video is the media's obsession with Lamar Jackson. You type that in, it should come up. The media's obsession with Lamar Jackson. I broke it down like different layers as to why they talk about Lamar the way they do and how often they talk about Lamar.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. That's it.
That is it.
We're out of here. All right. We had 8 minutes to spare, about 7 minutes to spare. You guys take us right to the limit over here. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And I just want to point out once again, patreon.com/LBHT Show. That's where we're getting ready to do the overtime show. If you have $3 in your pocket, $3, you can go and sign up and be a part of the overtime show and be a part of our Discord. Anybody that signs up, make sure you sign up to the Discord, even if you're not feeling like using it right this second, right? Times like this, when you're in the chat and we're not able to read it, throw it over on the Discord side, right? Because there'll be people in there to talk with you. Also, we're in the Discord often too. So even if we don't see it right where we're doing the show, when we go in there later and we see your comments, we engage. We're very engaging over there. There's a lot going on. So check it out. But all right, with that being said, thank you so much. Fingers crossed with tomorrow. We'll see what goes on tomorrow. Look, I'm saying I hope we don't stream, but if we're streaming, then that means it's big news. So just gotta wait and see. All right, less than 24 hours until that press conference. Hopefully we hear some good news, right? Not just same old Ravens news. Okay, same old Ravens news is not good news. All right, but B, are you ready?
I'm ready.
B is ready. Patrons, give us a couple minutes. We're going to get the overtime fired up. Everybody else, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donations. Thank you so much. We had 180 people in here one time. There's still over 100 people in this chat. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. And look, we'll be back shortly, whether it's tomorrow or it's next week or Monday. We didn't even plug. Real quick before we go, because we didn't plug this. All right. Open mic with OTR Mike. Okay. That's our brother, OTR Mike. I got an episode that didn't go out Monday, but it's going to go out probably tonight, tomorrow-ish. All right. Go over there, hit that subscribe button over there. Ravens Online Ungatekeepers. That's our guy Hendo. You saw him in the chat. Go over there and subscribe over there. Our guy Chris from Deep Cover Pod. Go over there, hit subscribe on that, and you can find all of us on Coach Evans' channel every Monday at 9 p.m. Sip to Tally Films. All right, so you can see a whole lot of us, and also Suge Knight 323. I didn't put his. I gotta get a graphic for him so I can put up there too. All right, you can see a lot of us. We float around each other's channels a lot. So if Wednesday's not enough for you, go subscribe to our brothers. Also, Ring Kings podcast for our boxing fans. Okay, that's me, B, and OTR Mike. Okay, so yes. All right, now we are getting out of here. Y'all stay safe. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Peace.